They will tell you success is luck. They will say wealth belongs to the chosen few. They will point to talent, timing, or connections, but they will never see the nights you fought your doubts, the mornings you rose with nothing but a vision burning in your chest, the days you built in silence while the world mocked your dream. Every great success is born from something unseen, not luck, not chance, but a hidden combination of forces that become unstoppable when united. Most people never discover it. They chase one idea, then another. They burn bright for a moment, then fade at the first obstacle. They drift, they hesitate, they waste years waiting for permission to build. But a rare few move differently. They hold a fire that does not go out. They shape that fire into something solid, and they surround themselves with minds so strong that together they bend the world in their direction. Miss even one element, and the structure collapses. But when they align, it feels as if reality itself leans forward to meet them. This is what separates the dreamer from the builder. This is why some lives drift endlessly, while others rise unshakable toward the vision they refuse to release. By the time you reach the end, you will know how to take a dream that feels impossible and build it step by step into reality. Think of Elon Musk in the early 2000s. He had just sold PayPal and could have retired forever, but he carried a desire that refused to let him rest. He wanted to build rockets, to send humans to Mars, to do what governments and billion-dollar institutions had failed to achieve. Everyone called it madness. NASA engineers laughed. Experts said it was impossible. But desire doesn't wait for permission. That raw fire could have burned out quickly if it wasn't shaped. Musk turned it into organized planning. He studied aerospace engineering on his own, broke down every process of rocket science into parts he could master, and built a step-by-step plan to test, fail, and test again. SpaceX wasn't a single gamble. It was dozens of deliberate iterations, each mapped, each calculated. But even Musk could not do it alone. He built his own mastermind. Some of the brightest engineers from Boeing, NASA, and beyond joined him, not for the money, but for the vision. Each one added strength where he was blind. Together they multiplied the effort. When rockets exploded, the team carried the mission forward. When funds ran dry, they pushed until the Falcon 1 finally rose into the sky. That is the pattern. Desire lit the fire. Planning turned fire into form. The mastermind multiplied the vision until it became unstoppable. And what the world once mocked as impossible is now the foundation of an interplanetary future. Chapter 1. The fire that starts it all. Desire. Desire is not a casual wish you whisper when life is comfortable. It is a burning obsession that reshapes the way you move, the way you speak, the way the world responds when you enter a room. Think of the Wright brothers. The world said man was not meant to fly. They had no fortune to fund them, no perfect equipment to rely on. But they had desire so fierce it refused to let go. They built, they tested, they crashed, and then they built again. Every broken wing became a lesson. Every failed flight became another step closer to the sky. What others saw as defeat, they used as fuel. They didn't ask if, they asked how. That is the essence of desire, a vision that refuses to die. A vision so strong it pulls you forward even when reason tells you to quit. And you have your own flight to build. The question is not whether it's possible. The question is whether your desire burns hot enough that retreat is no longer an option. Because once you decide there is no turning back, you begin to move differently. Your thoughts sharpen, your actions harden, and one day the dream they dismissed as impossible becomes the reality they cannot stop talking about. Once you decide, the universe starts moving with you. Chapter 2. Turning fire into form with organized planning. Desire is the fire. But fire without form burns out. A goal without a plan is like a journey without a path. You may move for years, but you never arrive. Think of Henry Ford. When the world said the automobile could not be built for the common man, he didn't waste energy arguing. He didn't shout at doubters. Instead, he built a plan so clear that every man on his team knew exactly what to do and exactly when to do it. No one had to build the entire car. Each man built his part, step by step, piece by piece. The vision became real. That is the power of organized planning. It takes a dream that lives in your imagination and turns it into a system you can build with your hands. And here is the truth. You don't need a factory to use this principle. You have your own Model T to create. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it's a new chapter of your life. The question is, will you keep the vision locked in your head, or will you break it down into steps so undeniable that it must exist? Success is always built twice, first in the mind, then in the world. The blueprint is drawn in imagination, but it is the plan that drags it into reality. Chapter 3, the multiplier of all effort, the mastermind. No matter how brilliant you are, you cannot see every angle. You cannot fight every battle alone. Andrew Carnegie, the richest man of his time, built an empire of steel. When asked for his secret, he didn't mention luck or talent. He said his fortune came from the knowledge of others. This was his mastermind, a circle of sharp, committed minds, each adding strength to the others, each bringing a skill, a view, a piece of the puzzle. When Carnegie faced a storm, he never stood alone. He brought it to his team, and together they built bridges over obstacles that would have stopped most men. That is the power of the mastermind. It is not just help, it is multiplication. One man's knowledge becomes the knowledge of all. One man's challenge becomes a shared victory. And in that alliance, you move faster, you strike harder, you last longer. Remember this, one mind can be defeated, but a united group moves like an unstoppable army, and unstoppable armies win wars before they begin. When the right minds unite, they shape the world in their image. Chapter 4, Together, an unstoppable force. It always begins with desire, a hunger so deep it does not fade when the night falls, and it does not weaken when the world says no. That hunger is then shaped by planning, a raw flame turned into a roadmap, a dream broken into steps that drag the impossible into reach. And it is multiplied by the mastermind, a circle of minds united by vision, who carry you when your strength runs low and push you farther than you thought possible. Think of Walt Disney, a young artist, broke, dismissed, told his ideas were too strange, too unrealistic. But he saw it, moving drawings that told stories the world had never seen. That was desire. He didn't just dream it, he planned it. Every frame, every detail, until the vision began to breathe. But even Disney could not do it alone. He gathered a team of men and women who believed when there was nothing yet to believe in. And when Disneyland finally opened, critics said it would fail. But on opening day, the gates could barely hold the crowd. That is what happens when desire fuels you, when planning directs you, and when a mastermind surrounds you. Dreams are built with desire, shaped by a plan, and made real by the people who believe in you. So write your desire where you see it every day, turn it into a plan that forces action, and gather a mastermind that refuses to let you fall. Then move until the gap between your vision and your life is gone. No man ever built a fortune by accident. Every empire began with a blueprint. Subscribe now. Keep your desire alive, your plan focused, and your support unbreakable.